What's going on, you guys? Jay here, and welcome back to the channel. So don't forget to smash the like button, drop a comment, subscribe if you haven't already. I hope you're all enjoying your weekends wherever you are. I hope you're managing to go and touch grass, touch water, any of those kind of things, just to get some peace and quiet as we're moving into this very important part of the halving cycle. And honestly, there are a lot of people that would just tell you to go touch grass during these downturns, but my honest opinion is position yourself as best as you can before you go and touch grass. Although it's nice to touch grass, we shouldn't get ourselves stressed because the market's not doing what we want. What we should try to aim to do is better position ourselves moving forward. So we have seen one of those burns going through, and there's so many different people like, what happened? What's going on? Oh no.
Oh no! Oh no! No, 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 no.
I'm here to remedy everything and get a new timeline in place for everybody, explain what happened, and then get you in the know with the LUNC that is held in the mirror side of things. We are seeing a lot of different news articles. We are seeing a lot of people reporting on this, which is really good. And this is something that I've come to understand with burning. It's heavily reported on because people understand it. They gravitate towards it. It's what the majority of the user base really want to see. We see that reflected on Twitter, we see it reflected on YouTube, and we see it reflected in the mass media. We see far more coverage on LUNC when we are promoting and pushing our burn narrative ourselves. Over the course of the past 2 years, I've noticed that a lot of content creators will not go and build the boat themselves. Instead, they'll wait for somebody else to build the boat, and then they will jump on the journey with them. And this is something we just have to come to terms with, and we really need someone going out, putting the time, energy, and effort into getting everything down into wholesome videos that are gonna lead to more coverage of LUNC. So I'm just really happy at the moment. This is a really good time, and what everybody needs to understand is nothing went wrong with these two proposals. In fact, they did exactly what they were supposed to do, and they both executed. But what happened with the Mirror Protocol assets was we included all of those wallets that are associated, and one of those wallets actually has no USTC in it. When the contract began to migrate, it hit a hurdle at this point. So it just prevented the overall migration, and that's why we saw the Anchor Protocol assets go ahead, because all of those wallets had USTC in them. When it comes down to what we were doing, we were just covering all of the bases to make sure and make certain that the whole picture was drawn out for everybody in the proposal process. So that's why we added in all of the wallets that we had mentioned in that migration proposal. So what do we need to do now? Well, all that needs to happen is the proposal needs to be put back up, and we need to just remove that one wallet that has no USTC in it. It's a pretty simple fix when it comes down to it, and the proposal will be going up Monday morning first thing. I'll pay for the whole thing top to bottom this time. I won't even be bothering putting it into the deposit phase. So now you're going to be thinking, well, hey, Jay, what's going on with those Luna Classic assets that you mentioned? And if we go all the way to the bottom of this Commonwealth, we can see I mentioned about the contracts not actually working for LUNC or any of the other native assets. So what I stated was I would hire Frag, and then I would prepare a bounty for him. What I've done is taken the liberty of paying for that bounty myself. Frag is already working on the new contract, which will allow for the migration of those LUNC coins. And hey, maybe it will be there in time for Monday. You'll just have to wait until then to find out. So really everything is going to plan, and this just gives us more propellant, more momentum as BTC tries to figure out what it's going to do. And what we are all gravitating around at the moment is this idea of LUNC going through the roof. And I honestly think once BTC starts to move up, LUNC and USTC are going to be primed for a big move, because there's been such a substantial hit on the supply, not just yesterday, but also previously. We saw a rather big hit, around 804 million USTC coins burned. We're also going to see LFG burn all of their coins, which is a huge amount of propellant for this blockchain. So when people start to buy USTC again, there's just not going to be a lot out there anymore. And what is available will probably get jumped on very quick when people start to realize that these numbers equate out into a substantial percentage. And this leaves Binance in a position where not only are they the largest custodial holder of USTC, but they are primarily and dominantly the biggest custodial holder. They hold all of the cards in this position, and they really are making me think about what they're planning, why they've been burning LUNC for so long. Because as we've discussed here previously on the channel, we saw Vitalik burn almost 400 trillion Shiba Inu coins, equating out to 50% of the supply. Crazier things have happened. And we always said to ourselves at the beginning, what if Binance was actually burning it? It turned out they was burning. So all of these things that a lot of people think are far-fetched or it's never going to happen, I personally think there is a slim chance that anything is probable in crypto. If you want it enough, if you push for it enough, you can make it happen at this point. And something I'm starting to gravitate towards is Binance isn't burning USTC. And at this point in time, it would be beneficial for not only them, not only the USTC consumer base, but the overall Terra Classic ecosystem, having them churn through at least some of that mound that they've built up, not just of LUNC, but USTC as well. It's something that is heavily ignored. And if we are to really gravitate towards a repeg, if we're really to try to attempt to do this thing and push forward this algorithmic stablecoin, well, the supply is now going to be in a realm of possibility. And to be quite honest with everybody, this is a very potent narrative to have moving into this halving cycle. It's somewhat of a golden direction to going. The idea of restoring USTC to its former glory after it was abandoned by the original owners, after TFL has just ejected, after Do Kwon has upped and disappeared, a community managed to get everything together, burn through a majority of the supply, and at least attempt a repeg. There's something that is seriously powerful in that statement. Going over and looking at a lot of these different articles, they're all saying the same thing. And what I know is a lot of them just use ChatGPT. They give it a very small amount of information. They'll probably give it the Commonwealth discussion, and then they'll ask it to write a news article. And then they'll also have it back-checked, fact-checked, and they'll go through and cross all of the T's and dot all of the I's. And what we're seeing is this timeline and date that we've spoken about, which is October 31st. And the fact that TFL will not be able to interact with Columbus 5 or Phoenix 1 chain after that date. So this means any token burns will be very difficult after that date, and it would need further approval and further elaboration on that current bankruptcy plan. But we do know, as stated in that judgment, that all of the crypto assets related to Terraform native assets must be burned. So this tells us that everything should really happen now before October 31st. And yes, we are going to see those shuttle assets burn around that time. I personally think it could fall between the 20th of October and the 31st of October. We'll just have to see. TFL had now got strict orders to get this done and dusted as quick as possible. So we really should see some action this week, and we've got a lot of propellant. Things are looking good. Things are looking bullish. Things are looking overly positive. We've got a lot of different bodies behind the scenes that are working on amazing stuff. And I'm very excited to bring phase 3 of LUNCDash to this community that has so desperately needed that infrastructure since the very beginning. And nobody has been able to bring that to you unless it's been paid for by you guys and then ripped away from you as if it never belonged to you in the beginning. That's not what I'm here for. I'm here for the community. I'm here to help the community, and that's what LUNCDash has always been about. So guys, I hope that gets you up to date. I hope that gives you a new timeline. I hope that lets you know when TFL could possibly be burning, when that's all going to fall on. And if I haven't covered anything in here, just let me know in the comments section and I'll be sure to make a follow-up video on it. To let everybody know about what's going on this week, we've got 2 new development teams that have involved themselves with Lunar Classic, so we're going to be doing some coverage on both of those teams, and I think there's going to be a Twitter space, X space, whatever you want to call it, on Thursday, And I think that's going to have both of the new development teams in. I think it's going to have a lot of different brilliant minds from Lunar Classic also there as well. And it's going to be a really positive thing moving forward with 2 new development teams that actually want to intercommunicate with the community. That's such an important part of being a development team on this chain. It's a decentralized ecosystem, not centralized. But hey, what do I know about these things, right, guys? Right. Look, just stay safe, stay humble, stay aware. And as always, I'll catch you in the next one.